Very nice color. It's an Epiphone Studio CG. It's in for a little setup. No strings on it. It has a sort of a very dull frets and very dull fretboard, but it has a sort of little problem with the head. It has been decapitated, and it's going to be an interesting fix because that fits perfectly with the old brake. So I'm tempted to do a glue to keep it all together in a tight formation and bind it all together with tight bond as tightly as I can to see what happens. The problem is the guitar is worth about £250, and if you took it to a luthier, they might charge you £150 or £200 to fix a neck. But I'm going to try first of all a straight glue and see what happens, see if I feel confident about that. If not, I'm going to have to put some splines in it. But we'll see as we go by the thing, a decapitation. Bye-bye. Shock horror probe. What is this? I don't have the fancy head jigs that a lot of people do, so I improvised. The head has been glued back in place, but because let me show you, because the head was pointed down, I couldn't put lateral pressure on it to force it to close, and the crack is about here, so a clamp wouldn't do it because the lower part of the neck is rounded. So if I clamped it, it would just push it out. So what I've done is I've drilled 2 holes, as you can see, and I put a metal bar in one. Well, actually it's a masonry nail and a screw in the other, and I've used wire and tightened it up with pliers to force it closed as tight as I can. I've done the same on the other side, and I've also used a bit of metal wire. It didn't need it, but the metal wire tightened to force the head up. Now I'm going to take the wire out, but that's not enough. Gluing the head on this is not enough to do the job. So I'll come back to you once I've taken explained to you what my next plan is. So there we are. Let me just see if I can get that. Yeah, right, okay. See the 2 holes? What I intend to do now is, in a direct line between one hole and another, is router out enough to put in a very strong piece of hardwood on both sides. You see many neck fixers putting the shim here, but this is so far down the neck, there's no point in me actually doing it up there. It has to be where the brake is. So I'm going to put probably about twice the depth of the screw holes you see there, but a straight cut depth as far as I can. I'm probably half the width, half the thickness of the neck on this side, and then I'll put in a piece of hardwood, very hardwood. It has to fit very snugly, and then I'll glue it in and shape it. And I'm not even confident that will hold it, because the brake is in such a bad place with no plane on it that it's just touch and go. But didn't want to spend a fortune replacing necks on this, because it's not worth it. You could buy another one for the same price. That's the other side. You can see the 2 holes and the 2 holes there. So that's the plan. Excuse me. Some luthiers cut a hole there, cut 2 grooves down there and put in straps. And they look very neat, and I'm sure they work very well. But my worry is with a straight brake like that, how do I describe this? you're depending on the glue on the sides of the strip too much, in my opinion, because if that bends that way, the wood they put in good hardwood would hold, but the glue would then be flexing this way. So what I've decided to do is I put grooves in the side, right in as far as I could go to almost the truss bar, and then I put in real good hardwood and squeezed it in tight, which means the grain's going that way and it's the wood that is holding the neck in place, rather than depending on the glue to hold the neck in place. So I've gone in slightly unconventional. I'm going to clean this up now, shave it down. I'm not going to do that on camera. I'm just going to use a paring knife and or actually I'll use my my Dremel to get it down a good bit, and then I'll use the paring knife and things like that. Maybe bring you in at the end. Now, that's the wood shaped, and the first coat of, what you call it, a sealer undercoat put on it. The next job is to seal it again, and then sand it a bit more, and then start putting the sanding sealer on it and buff it all down, and we'll see how it goes. Wasn't very fussy on the color, but I don't have the right color for this, so it's a repair. It's not a brand new job, but so far so good. Those are good, solid, really hardwood strips in there on each side. Well, this is the guitar that had the broken neck in a very bloody awful place. It's now been welded back together, as you probably have seen. I don't have the right color for it, so I chose a color as an undercoat. The owner says he'll match the color. He must have some skills in that area, but I don't have the right color. But he can leave it as it is because it looks perfectly nice and it plays well. It keeps its tune well. It's intonated well. And if he doesn't trash it, it'll play lovely. It'll last for years, I hope. I wouldn't use it as a hammer though. Nice little guitar indeed. Okay, go home, guitar.